and hXcjedders we are in the group stages, Group A, and they have played each other before. This is their second match. Phuton won the first one, and we are off with a big 20 and links out.
And it looks like Jedda's gonna start out by checking the Hylia Island, a pretty common play. It's just a hard container, so probably not gonna get it. And Phuton straight up going for clip here. He's gonna clip into this wall and jump down half the screen and go straight for the item.
Meantime, hXZ also going for this play. Could be going Hobo though, from the very same spot.
Probably. Going for Hobo here is also it's a good play. It's a more rare play, I see, but he seems to have some problems getting the lineup. He needs to do a normal fake flipper like you do usually in NMG for stuff like Waterfall Fairy often.
Let's quickly talk about what we saw there. Both of these runners clipped into a wall using boot clips, and by clipping a certain distance and then holding into the slope, they are able to teleport up or down half a screen. And we find the ice rod on the Uncle, by the way. That's very good, because you don't have to hunt for that. You're probably happy about that until you find out that Turtle Rock is a pendant.
And there's the sword, and Phuton decides to take that sword through the escape and gonna complete it, I would assume. Makes quite some sense to go for it early, and we had a 5-6 crystal at Hero and otherwise normal crystal.
Yeah, very important 3 light world crystals, so this seed is something that is really nice to you, and a pendant swamp, if I might add. So hXC is clearing this Sahashla's closet. Why is this something that you don't see in open? Because in open modes, in non-major glitch modes, you don't stop with boots, so you're usually lacking bombs. So this is something that we popularized during the last tournament, where you just open Sahashla with your boots.
Yeah, even if you do start out with early boots or bombs, you often don't see the Sahashla play because it's just at the point you get those items more out of the way. You know what, we start with them because, well, it's a good start. It's not too far out of the way and we don't have too much other things of value at this point. Of course, we can get everywhere, but that's just a byproduct of having boots and glitches available.
Well, as it looks like we get some pretty standard openings here with the escape sequence from deathFouton, which is a classic, and hXZ going for the north to south Kakariko play probably. Although he could still technically deathFouton Ascent here, but I doubt that he will.
Yeah, usually if you would go for DMA, you would check the forest beforehand, and if you check the forest afterwards, you usually go for Kakariko.
It looks like the lumberjack item was 100 rupees, so we won't be requiring that. Also, Sanctuary had the key to Hyrule Castle, and we found the map in the escape sequence, so that means the Dark Cross is an item of some sort.
Yeah, it might be a good item, might be just an item. We have a lot of those in the game. Also, Brian Mead in chat pointing out, usually you see people skip out on the escape check for a long time. I've seen some 1 hour plus escapes. And yeah, you often might miss out on some basic stuffs in there. But yeah.
We are getting our first look at Blind's Hot here. Big 20, hard container. potion with green goo, and 10 bombs.
You know, it's a bit sad that that potion right now has not a blue goo, but at the same time, or later on, the green goo might get useful.
There's one specific application that I expect some of these racers might know, which is the Smith YBA.
Okay.
But it all depends
Yeah.
on what items you really have when you get there.
Yeah, and the other application that the green YBA has that is somewhat useful is duping Overworld items. You can get items like a SWAT twice from certain locations, and that's totally fine.
There's a mushroom in the Kakariko, well, not much otherwise. As you said, overall dupes, but I honestly don't expect anyone to do overall dupes in this tournament.
I think we already saw one getting a SWAT twice from Bumper Ledge.
Nice, I missed that.
And Jella's going for the best clip in the game. Can softlock you if you unlucky.
Got it, but at the same time, the chicken didn't appear on the other side. The chicken just decided to stay in the doorway.
Well, you can pick it up and get stuck in the doorway like that.
And there's the mirror in the Kakariko Tavern. You kind of don't want to see that before the pearl. You want to see that in the next chest after you get the pearl.
Yeah.
So the mirror, for the most part, the usual uses that we see for the mirror in non-major glitch modes is accessing other light bulb ledges. Now, we can access all of these light bulb ledges with the use of major glitches, and instead we use the mirror almost exclusively for helping routing and to perform some other major glitches. Some which would be descending from Death Mountain, or otherwise mirror wraps, which allow you to traverse
the dark
about
world.
half the screen.
Yeah, it's also a thing. And Jella's just decided to skip out on Desert Palace for now. It's a decision not often seen because it's so early available. You often see a runner go there, check out what Egna and K45 have in the proximity, and well, just get it out of the way early on.
Here we see our first Death Mountain ascent. This is the classic DMA. Here he teleports up. He is in a screen wrap state. Now he uses the screen wrap state to transition onto the Death Mountain screen, unwraps the camera, and then enters the Old Man Cave to fix everything.
Yeah, if he would not unwrap the camera, the game would take about 2 minutes to load the cave. If you would unwrap the camera almost completely, it may take less, but you usually don't see that. You either see people going for it completely unwrapped or not unwrapped at all. Phuton, meanwhile, going for that. He's just having to do a downward teleport here and gets it.
And then he transitions off the edge of the world, which means he's in a map wrap state. That's not good.
Yeah.
And
that was not intended.
He correctly recognizes this, and instead of trying to fix it, he saves and quits, which is the correct call, because if he would have tried to go back to the right there, he would have hardlocked.
Going back to the right would have hardlocked, and I think the position he transitioned would have pushed him to the right if he would have tried to go to the left, so it would have been a bet either way.
I think you have ample amount of space on that side of the Eastern Palace screen.
I think you land in a wall right there. And Jella's now going for a clip to Hera.
Yep,
keep holding up. Okay, you got out.
Went for a dash buffered Hera clip on the right side, which is, well, I'm gonna go with ballsy because if you're not good at right side clips, those cabbages will destroy you. But he gets it very fast, so very efficient clipping right.
And Futon returns for the desert play. This time, definitely gonna make sure to not walk over the edge. Hard container and map western wing of swamp. Nice hint. We don't want to ever go to swamps, that is good to hear.
Swamp is a pendant, and now, as far as we're concerned, it only has 5 items. Ooh, HXC, how do you plan to do this room with no actual practical weapon? Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, that's... and... yeah, hitting enemies is weird with bombs.
In the meantime, we pick up the Cane of Burner in Desert Palace.
And yeah, Jeda's just gonna reset the room quickly and now has 2 more pots as weapons without the beaters respawning.
Overall, I'm not sure this is worth it, considering Tower of Hera is a crystal. Unfortunately, he didn't get that sword from the escape sequence, which he will very soon. Considering he has a mirror, he must be thinking about Pyramid Ferry and going there in general. Actually...
yeah, about that. He might still do it to check out the Pyramid Ledge, but he won't have as much of an incentive to do it.
Actually, yeah, that was unfortunate.
So what we are talking about, if you do have the mirror, there is a way to get to the Pyramid Ferry with just that mirror. And usually you see people check out the escape sequence right after that, or right before that, based on what items they have. Hey, we got the red boomerang.
But that's not the best boomerang. If he's going to collect that red boomerang, he should really go for the blue one.
Yeah.
You know where the blue one is, HXC, stop.
To be honest, getting the red one isn't too bad. The red one has some nice tricks to it if you know them, and check the item in here. Probably won't go for the hint with just 20 rupees in there, and yeah.
Yeah, he skips the hint entirely. I don't really agree with skipping that hint, it's so free.
Yeah, it loses like 5 seconds going around, but you get information or a hint that tells you to go to the next room once you 7 quit instead.
Here, HXC used a Turtle Rock climb clip to get over to the east side of the mountain. Works in both worlds. Unfortunately, in the light world, you do have to deal with dead rocks and stuff. I really hate doing that in the light world, and honestly, I would prefer if everyone learned the one next to Hera.
Well, to be honest, with the mirror already in hand, he could have gone for the mirror rep to check out Darkness Mountain at the same time.
Ooh, that minimodom is relentless. Get out. You don't. It's not worth it. It's just Spiral Cave.
Oh my god.
I'm having Vietnam flashbacks here. I'm sorry.
Okay, now he's got just avoid that Barry. Oh, okay.
Oh no, the worst one is still up. It's your last bomb. Well, he's not going to be able to open Paradox Cave with that, though. So that overall... not good. Just not good.
Well, in the meantime, deathFouton does find another bottle.
It's all there was to Minimodom Cave? That's kind of sad, to be honest.
Hey, it's a bottle, and it already had a V, so you can leave it in peace and go get yourself a good potion in there.
Pretty much.
And now Jeda's going to return to east this mountain by doing this nice little flip and jumping off bad collision.
And
And I'm
immediately
still-
realizing that no bombs.
Yeah, and I'm still saying, hey, if you go and do this, do it together with Darkness Mountain. It's in logic.
You could have also bought bombs at the shop at bottom of Super Bunny.
Yeah, it's only a shop in Darkwood. In the Light World, there is a shop close by, but that one needs a bomb to open. Meanwhile, Luigi going for a swim. Phuton gonna check out the hobo. We already saw that from Jeddas earlier.
And I think he does have a stored water walk right now. So he's probably planning to go to Waterfall Fairy Cave right after this. This is a really good route. He activates the stored water walk and there he goes. As long as you don't fail the fake flipper setup, you can store a water walk through swimming, which is great.
Yeah, you also kind of have to avoid jumping off a south ledge, but at that point, there's kind of no south facing ledge that won't take you to water, so that's nice. Also, Phuton going for Phuton. You haven't checked out Zora, the Waterfall Fairy. I mean,
Yeah, I do wonder about this.
he wants to avoid a false heart piece. I don't know how many heart pieces he has if you even is in danger of getting it.
We also don't know if we need that glove enough to throw away a chance at Waterfall Fairy.
Well, you can go for Waterfall Fairy from this mountain without too much issue. He just needs to, that's in my opinion just a better play to go there first.
Right, here he goes. He needs to perform about 24 or so right buffers without failing too much, because that will knock you back out and you have to perform more. There's also a spin speed method that he could do. I guess he doesn't know about it.
That spin speed clip takes you to the same spot and is, in my opinion, a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Also, just pointing out, we do not have the Moon Plus, so neither Waterfall Fairy nor the Slav are in logic.
Well, that's an interesting point, and you wouldn't consider it that way, but of course, we haven't updated the logic with the Boots Water Walk since it was discovered, I think. Was it discovered or just not working at random?
I think it wasn't discovered at some point.
Alright.
And we kinda recently did update logic, but forgot to add this point in there.
I've added Hookshot K from the back.
Yeah. We added that while going for the while adding the entirety of version 30.4 with inverted overworld glitches.
Right, HXC is going to go for that. Waterfall Fairy Cave. Let's see what we get. 3 bombs and hearts. Well! Oh
and for third piece.
Oh no.
Well, okay, he should have at least checked it, in my opinion, to see what's on the ledge. You can hop out and go for it later on. If you actually do need it for something, or if you're in the area of anti-flippers or anything that direction.
Right, hXcjedders going for Hyrule Castle without the pyramid check, which, in my opinion, not that great a way to route this. That
Well, he
pyramid,
already got in. He could have gone for checking it out, I guess, but
Yeah,
not really needed.
It's one item, but it could be your moon pearl, of course. It's definitely within logic to be the moon pearl right now.
Okay, Futon wants a lot of money. He did a Futon setup. Interesting.
Makes sense. He's probably going back to Zora at this point. Weird thing for me about Futon here is that he seems to be kind of religiously avoiding deathFouton, and I wonder why.
Also, Futon, just dash to the statue there. That bonks you into the transition.
Also, is this really faster for Zora than setting up a water walk in Minimal Cave?
He doesn't want to go to Zora.
Oh, it's Mushroom! Yeah, of course. My bad.
He can go to Zora right after this, which is totally fine, and in this combination would be faster than going straight for Zora, but he gonna reset.
He did reset. Yeah. Very good, very good. That is a play that we often see to preserve the mushroom for fake powder if Samaria would happen to pop up anytime soon. Since we don't actually need a hammer or a mirror to access the magic bat, we can just clip.
Yeah, and that clip is fully in logic with just the boots.
Here we go, a classic DMA coming up from deathFouton. And at this point, we've seen pretty much everything other than Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave, and the interior of Eastern Palace.
Well, for Lightward, we do have Zora, which puts parts of that rock, Super Bunny, some stuff in Village of the Outcast, and
the front of Skull Woods.
And Pyramid Ledge, of course, because that's together with Pyramid Ferry.
Absolutely. Point being, we should probably start seeing some Dark World adventures soon.
Yeah, but you know, referring to Jedda's file name, we do already have one glove. That glove is either flippers or pearl locked, so our chances of getting the pearl in Ice Palace, like his name says, are pretty low right now.
Yeah, we're also missing a fire weapon of any sort to actually do anything in Ice Palace. Entering is not the only thing that we need to do.
You know, you could always have that extreme troll progression to Moon Pearl on Pyramid Ledge.
deathFouton picking up his Swamp Palace hint. I don't recall, did we see both of the items? I know the big chest was a hard piece.
The bottom had none, and yeah, there's a map. So either boss has the small key or the item.
Yeah, it's very possible that we have it.
We have the two items now. The compass and key are still missing.
No, the compass was in the page.
Yeah, right. Well then. Nice little dash past the bumper on Futon's side. It's relatively precise to get past it, at least past it quickly. You see right now Futon going for spins. Those spins actually do not do any more damage than just going for slashes or pokes or anything.
Beautiful
That's just
hit
how
there, by the way.
Yeah. And I think Jeddas tried to go for Graveyard at one of the other locations that we have in Logic, but did some bad inputs and got soft locked in there. Looks to go for it again.
And that's going to be an auto walk. Which would have been totally fine if you were doing this for any other reason.
Yeah. There is a way to get to that island without doing the pretty precise flip that Jeddas is trying to do, which you can do after a normal Hera clip.
Futon is also skipping the Spectacle Rock hint. I am extremely dissatisfied with this.
You know, it's just gonna say that the bow requires 3 pendants.
Yeah, that would be very not too critical information. Is he going for the mirror wrap? I think he might.
Yeah, he goes for the mirror wrap.
Perfect. Right, so, by the way, he's Mario in the Dark World, and I love it as a bunny.
No, oh no! Hey, with Luigi. You see NES sprite from Luigi.
Ah,
and
okay.
And you see Futon right now doing a lot of mirror placements. He just places mirror portal 1 pixel into the wall, and now goes through, use it at the last pixel possible, and is able to clip into the wall like that and jump off.
This is right now is the in-logic method, by the way, of getting over as a bunny from the west side to the east side.
There's also a way to use a mirror wrap that gets you over a bit quicker. You could also do a bunch of run frames to get off there, but that's dumb.
Right, jumping down that hole gives him Super Bunny, so this is why we call it Super Bunny Cave. You can repeatedly get Super Bunny here to open these chests. Just like the chests aren't going to contain anything worth picking up today, though.
Yeah, but there are still a few more shakes that are in logic over here, like going for going into into Turtle Rock. I would guess that he's gonna skip out on that for now.
And we also see a Bombos medallion on the front door of Turtle Rock, which yeah, is mostly not going to be opened anyway.
Well, it got opened more often than not throughout the tournament, even though it's not really required.
There are some routing things that you can do with opening that door, but otherwise we prefer to enter Turtle Rock through the laser bridge, which is not actually in logic, but it's one of the most useful clips that you can learn.
Yeah, and if you can go through the laser bridge, you at least want to go through the middle section to come from the big chest.
Yeah, because it turns out Turtle Rock is not that dreadful of a linear dungeon when you're doing it backwards.
Well, it's even more linear if you go backwards, but it's kinda... you skip all puzzles.
The bottom Paradox Cave not coming up with too much, so let's see if there's anything at the top, or we need to go to some more adventurous locations.
This is actually hey Flippers. So
that puts the gloves
What?
in logic.
Yep.
Damn.
And that puts the glove in logic as well.
You needed to go into this exact room to get that glove.
Yep.
It's very easy to get sidetracked by the fact that you get thrown a mirror. Because you immediately start thinking about that fairly inefficient Dark World play, but if the moon pearl does actually turn up in the Dark World, you're suddenly way ahead of the person that does not want to make that play.
Yeah. To be honest, if I do get the mirror and still haven't gone to Kakariko, which kinda often happens for me, I don't know why. Should probably start doing Kakariko before the hour mark.
Futon not going for the hoppers.
Which is fair, even in Overworld just hovering is not in logic. He will find the hook shot before having to do those chests.
Hexcjedders, by the way, picked up his own pearl in Paradox Cave. I'm sure he's not happy about the fact that he could have had that 15 minutes ago if he didn't blunder in Spiral.
Well, the thing is, he could have still had the Flippers and Pearl out of there if he would have just decided to actually go for that after going through Paradox. He had the Red Boomerang, which is enough to hit the switch.
He is going back to the Zora domain here through Zora DMD.
Jeddas, you have... oh, he has the Flippers, right. I'm down.
Yeah, his Flipper's not walk.
Yeah, I wanted to say he doesn't have the rupees for Zora, but he has something else to do here. And Futon right now going for a nice little small jump that gets him from this mountain only about a few screens down.
Yeah, it's honestly, it doesn't really scroll your screen down. Oh, never mind, we're at Swan Palace.
Yeah, it's... you might see the camera's a bit not happy about it. Don't worry, we fix it.
As an added bonus, you can even pick up this hint. And we hear a pendant music in this one, but oh, we already knew that. Was.
He could have actually gone and checked out the first chest right there. He has the items that he needs to check that. I'm sure he doesn't want to do that without the hammer, especially not in a pendant.
And we see our other two pendants, which are Skull Woods and Misery Maya. I did not catch the other 5-6, but it's actually wholly irrelevant with the mirror in hand.
Yeah, if someone did catch it, that would be nice, but not really needed.
Hype Cave is really boring, like really boring right now. It's Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock, okay.
Which does mean that ice rod that we picked up at minute 0 from Uncle is in fact relevant, which is a rarity.
Yeah, we all know the saying early ice rod means that we have ourselves that Turtle Rock as pendant. Nah, not today.
So at this point, Ice Palace is required, so those gloves were also required 100% of the time. Ice Palace being the only dungeon that we cannot clear without a glove in Overworld Glitch.
Yeah, Desert Palace and Seaston get a bit more convenient with a glove, but we don't care. What's that? Isa? Couldn't catch it. Yep, Isa.
So we can open Misery Mire, but we really don't want to go in because it's 2 items and it's abandoned. We can't
Hey.
even clear it.
Got another bottle. Okay, we get ourselves a shack of Checkerboard Cave.
We also found a small key in the center part of School Woods.
Jedas, make sure that you don't die, or if you die, die in the dungeon and afterwards mirror.
That was scary.
As long as he dies on the frame he enters, he's fine. If you die on the frame you enter cave and in entrance, you just die on the inside.
Which is one of the very few ways that you can actually bunny revive in Swamp Palace. But it's ridiculously hard to set up.
Yeah, it's kinda not really easy to set up.
So we got our first item from Skull Woods, which is a small shield.
And that's a few dicks.
Wow. That's 4 by 7. That's 30 digs. That's exactly 30 digs that he did there.
Yeah, worth it.
Which is the maximum amount that it can be to get the item.
And right now, Futon did an upward teleport to get into Village of the Outcast without the Mitch. That same teleport doesn't work in the Light World because the collision is just slightly different, yeah. Jedas, you can't use your boots when facing a wall, and that's a requirement to do sprint speed.
I'm also mildly confused why he's here. Did he exit Skull Woods without mirroring first?
He might have just wanted to refill on hearts and don't know.
He was definitely in the fake dark hole, right? Which means if he transitioned off, then he would be in the light world. And this would be the only way for him at this point to get back in the dark world, unless he uses bomb escape at the dark world portal at 4.
Yeah, which to be fair, that bomb escape is pretty precise, and you don't necessarily want to do it if you can avoid it.
Chat's saying he exited without saving and quitting, so he might not understand that you can fix a fake dark world by just using the mirror. You can use the mirror on any dark world screen, regardless of your actual world. And the effect is that it will swap your world. So when you're in the fake dark world, you're on a dark world screen in the light world, and by mirroring, you arrive in the dark. Hi.
I know you like that, Kane.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And so do our races, because it is required for Turtle Rock.
Technically, we could see Mantasman hovering it, but nope, he's not racing.
It's honestly just 1.5 screen worth of hovering. No big deal.
At best, put Zero Rush on the Hiawas the entire thing if he can. If he avoids Sumarian for so long.
I mean, to be fair, you still have to get a lucky, a big key with that, though.
You can get all chest locations with Havaras.
Can you do the hover for the torches? Because that's
yes. You just need to have the fire rod and be extremely good at hovering, and Zero Rush already did that one. He has a clip for that somewhere floating around on the main list tourney thing. which he showed right before one of his races, because why not?
That's nice. Disgusting, but nice.
Yeah, you also need to take a fall, as far as I know, because kinda cannot.
You don't want to pop it back, right? For after you light the torches. Oh, there's the bow.
A bow. The thing is, after you use a fire rod, it's like impossible to catch your hover. So yeah,
So you need
to fall after that. Also, a nice bomb dash there. Yeah, it's similar to some other things. It's similar to the thing that we often see runners do in Desert Palace with bonking the torch item off by running into the wall. The bonk things have a area where bonking does knock the item down. It's not the actual bonking into the whatever item it is that's doing the action. It's bonking in that area in general.
Yeah, you can also spawn the fairy on deathFouton by bonking on the dead rock that comes too close to that rock.
I actually didn't know that you could bonk that one specifically. That's that.
Alright, so we have the bow in hand. It does only unlock single item location. Do you go Eastern Palace right now? Considering we are going to be running out of items to find here, along with Palace of Darkness, Hammerless, of course. Or do you put it off until you have
Well, on Jedda's side, since he didn't do Darkness Mountain so far, he could do Darkness Mountain into Catfish, into Pleasure of Darkness, and go for Eastern first.
I believe he also hasn't done Hype Cave yet, so we should still see him go down there.
Yeah, probably. But at the same time, it's Hype Cave. Never is in something in there. So yeah, what do we actually still need? Fire Rod and Hammer, right? Are the only things that we still need.
Yes. We also, of course, need Hookshot if any of the races can't hover. That should be about...
Just learn the modem ones instead. Also, of course, we need Master Sword.
It's almost not worth mentioning with the amount of chests that we still have to kind of open just for keys alone. All but guarantees that sort, but I mean, yeah, we have seen counter examples of that one. Oh, Jedda's on 2 health. Oh, hi!
Hammer, okay. Perfect. And Smoky is in the chest, in the witch chest, so he needs that hammer for logical clear of Seastone.
He needs that exact item to be able to access blind. It's perfect.
Yeah. It's well placed. So yeah, we are down to Fire Rod and hope either hover or hookshot skills.
Right now, in this situation, I would completely ignore things like Hype Cave. Just go straight
GG
to Palace and then do Ganon South.
Yeah, Ganon South Eastern. Well, Desert is not completable, so skip out on that, and of course GG. Oh, we still we might still need the bombers if that's if one of our racers does screw up on in Turtle Rock, but I probably won't see that. Also, Jedda's not feeling too comfortable with Sword, I guess.
Using some really good Samaria sets, and overall, Samaria blind is much safer than Sword blind. And on green mail, blind's body hugs still do 2 damage, while the shots will do a constant 1 regardless of mail. So I absolutely agree.
Well, it's not a bad play, but at the same time, going for the script will usually net you the first 2 phases safely without any damage. Third phase might get out of hand.
I think he just wants to completely preempt taking damage. Wouldn't be comfortable with 4 hearts in a blind fight, to be honest. Now, if he had gone to Desert Palace, he could have used the Cane of Brian instead.
Yeah, also, one thing that Jealous just bought is a red potion. Do you have any ideas why he might have bought that?
It's because he's very afraid that he'll have to fight another boss with 4 health and green mail.
Well, yeah, he would have a green potion for everything else, right?
I know what you're thinking of, but that's probably not why he bought it.
Yeah. But yeah, he's gonna do a fake powder now. Also, do you remember if one of our runners checked a bumper ledge? I don't know.
He went to Skull Woods from deathFouton Descent, so I think he has done that, but again,
Yeah,
I did
would
not
make
catch
sense.
it first.
Futon also did checked out the items in King's Tomb and on the ledge like that, so maybe. Also, he might actually still do Smith Barbier. He could go for
If he wanted to do Smith Barbier, he would have done it before doing the battle. That goes for both players, I think. Just routing wise, it makes more sense. Maybe not for Futon, but definitely for Jedders, who still wants to go down to Hype Cave.
Well, at this point, he might also, like you thought, think about all the big locations that are still left. And 30 decks for Jeddah.
30 digs in, which is, again, the maximum that the digging game can require from you. It's not exactly as unlikely as getting 15 blue balls on Aghanim, but it's probably one of those things that are close to the chance of getting 10.
I think it's 12.5% to be on to be placed on each and 100% on the last one or something like that.
I don't exactly know. I know that the spoiler log contains the number of digs required to get the item.
Hey, looks like Futon wants some money. He might actually look into Catfish and Zora, or no. Alright, he already did Catfish, right? Did he? No, he got for Turtle Rock instead. No, don't know.
Futon?
Yeah.
Yeah, Futon's done Catfish and went to Waterfall Ferry right after. What he hasn't done is Sahashala, which is extremely unusual in Overworld glitches. Coming up with a complete package of crash items, a heart container, 20 rupees, and 3 bombs. Only missing thing is 10 arrows, which probably Sahasra holds himself.
Let's see what's in Path of Darkness. We are technically only looking for a Fire Rod and a hookshot additionally if one of our runners cannot do the hover to get past Moldom too.
I don't think either of them hovered in Hookshot Cave, and probably would have if they felt comfortable with hovering. So they probably are going to both look for the hookshot.
To be honest, you'd go for the hover at least once if you can do it, even if you are not feeling consistent at it.
Yep. Photon skipping the hint in Palace Darkness. Looks like he doesn't really want a fire source. I bet it would have told him exactly where the fire rod was.
Yeah, could have also told him the fire rod is in Icepare's big chest or something like that.
Yeah, there's definitely a rabbit hole of items that you could be looking for here. Just, I don't know if we have an item left in Desert Palace, but Lamp could be relevant if Lambo was holding the fire rod, for instance.
We had of course the burner. I think the right side had one of the items as well, but not really sure.
That's a compass.
Well, then the other item has to be the big key.
Yep, but there's still the big chest.
And we of course do not have the lamp of fire rod, so we cannot check out what's on Landmo.
By the way, it does strike me right now. Photon will maybe have to do the road leading to Helmer King in the basement with no lamp and no fire rod, which is not that fun.
Yeah, and I think he has a green and a blue potion, so he can fix that, but he also doesn't have the magic to use his Ether Medallion, which would kill the turtles once he flips them. Talking about Ether, Jedda's gonna open Maya and enter with his Ether Medallion.
Yeah, this is an interesting
decision. Find something in there. Yeah, he may find something in there. He may just waste his time.
You do not have a fire source, which means 2 of the chests out of the total of 8 are inaccessible. The total number of items in here is 2. Very inefficient play for a pendant dungeon, in my opinion, but I mean, if this turns up Fire Rod, it will put him so far ahead.
If this turns out Hookshot and Photon can't hammer, this turn will put him ahead.
Basically, I expect Lamp to be here and also to be completely not locking Fire Rod in a manner that it would be hard locking.
Yeah, definitely possible.
Photon going for a select buff with Hamia. Very nice. I do prefer this vastly over the start buff. Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Well, Fire Rod, I guess. I'm coming again with the witch. Why am I always coming with the witches?
Well, I guess Hexcjedders is quite ahead. I don't see Photon going in here anytime soon.
Yeah, okay, that hint in Path of Darkness definitely pointed towards Maya, but unfortunately to the wrong item in Maya, so good that Photon skipped it.
what did it say? I completely missed it. Was it a left side hint?
No one checked it, but
Oh, okay.
just so that it at least didn't throw him off.
Ether was very early.
Yeah, Isa was in Kakariko well. Jeddas, look out for your head. You got the red potion if you really want that.
I don't think he is particularly concerned at this time. And I don't think there will be an unfortunate reserve here. Alright. So while Jeddas is Monka-esting through Misery Maya, we're going to have a completely dark basement here from Futon. Good luck to both of these runners. Unique item and turtle rock.
Okay, that might be our hookshot.
Might be a hookshot, and it's probably where Jeddas is going next. So here I can see a very nice route. Turtle Rock, clip down, go into Palace Darkness, go into Eastern Palace, you just clear 3 crystals, and while you're here you also do Desert Palace, which means all you have to do after Eastern Palace is Ice Palace.
And of course, Ice Palace is already completable. Also, while he's at Third Rock, he can also check out Darkness Mountain as far as possible. Unique item in Third Rock is Bombers? Please no. That would just throw off Futon even more.
It's unfortunate, but also expected. That room is extremely tough.
Yeah, there's a reason why I would not go for that room in the dark unless I either have extremely confident or have a medallion to fix it. Because medallion allows you to pretty much quickly get rid of all of the ones that you already flipped. So flipping and reflipping them over and over is not the issue if you can use Ether or Bombos on them.
I do think he has a green potion, so he could have gone for 8 usages of Ether. Does Ether kill them? I don't remember.
Ether should kill, and Bombos kills as well. I think Quake is the one that just stuns them if they are turned around.
Yeah, I know Bombos kills them, because Bombos kills everything. Exceptions may apply.
Yeah, I think like the only things that Bombos doesn't kill are the things that are not killed by most items, like the mimics or something like that.
Direct hit. Unfortunately misses one of them because he fired in the wrong direction, but it would have been perfect. Really good timings on his arrows for the Slam-Mo fight. Stark contrast from the being afraid of the blind fight. Oh, Futon is saved. Futon is saved.
Oh yeah, nice.
That is so specifically good. That's so lucky.
Oh yeah, and because of that, you never skip Kins, unless it's a Kins and Aghanim Tower, and you don't need to beat Aghanim.
That hint was unfair for Jeddas. I'm just going to say it out loud. The seed really wants Futon to catch up. Yes, it said exactly Fire Rod is in Misery Maya, no questions asked.
To be honest, it's not too much of a save for him. Also, Jeddas that won't help too much.
What are we seeing here?
We see a way.
Don't get lost. I think actually he YBA too far to the right.
Jedda's
There you
open
go.
map. Jedda's, you can open the map. If he would open the map, he would see stuff. Also, he doesn't need to save and quit unless he could place a mirror portal and transition at the right position to get the Smith like that out there.
Yeah, he did not know about how to fix your Overworld after that one. So what he did basically was do a YBA from a smaller screen into a bigger screen. YBA being when you use a potion on a transition. He specifically needed a green or a red one. And by doing that, he basically changed the collision of the small screen to that of the big screen. So it allowed him to walk all the way to the smith unimpeded.
It's more like he changed the way the game thinks of the screen that he was on to a big screen, which sets free off the collision for him. And hey, powder! Nice position, we already checked it too. And we found meds.
Yes, baby. Hexcjedders has not been in Past Darkness, and I don't know if he can hover. I assume he won't even check the hints. Otherwise, he might.
I don't think Hexcjedders can hover. I'm not sure about it. Same for Futon, but I think neither of them can hover. I don't remember any one of them to be one that I remember for being able to hover. Most people in the tournament can, just because it's so convenient with Overworld glitches. But those two are some of them that I don't remember with that skill.
What's Photon doing in Outcasts? Oh no, he's going say down to Maya, but then why did he not use the portal at 6, which he of course has access to?
I guess he didn't want it to flute. Well, he could have used this fake flute. Oh, he's gonna do Smith on the way.
Yeah, that makes sense of some degree. I think he should take a second look at his item set, because it might be deceptive, but I mean, the go mode is close.
Yeah, he might just want to check like hands-off items on the way to Maya, now that he got the mids.
I feel like the reason you would at this point is that you have the 7 crystals and you still are on Fighter Sword, because of course Sword is missing for go mode.
Yeah. Let's see if Hexcjedders goes for the hover. Nope. So he's okay. He doesn't need. He knows he won't get the hammer from there.
Hookshot, but yes.
Hookshot, yeah. And Hexcjedders again. You can't spin speed if you grab the wall.
It's entering Turtle Rock through the middle. I mean, not necessarily the worst choice. Then again, you can clear it.
Yeah, going from the back would probably be the best. If you still didn't find the unique item you're looking for, you can head back in for the big chest, as well as mimics.
You know, I would have agreed with that a week ago, but then again, this weekend I got absolutely demolished in one of my tournament races because I found a unique item on Laser Bridge, except there were 3 unique items in Turtle Rock. And the only one that wasn't actually progression was the one on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, you know, I once had a hint telling me, hey, there is a unique item in Swamp Palace. I found 3 unique items on the way to the boss. Gomod was in big chest.
Nice.
Yeah. Of course, everyone in the race has done the same.
I was about to say I'm surprised that neither of the runners has still decided to go to Gan's Tower at all. Wait, hold on. Why is Futon going for a super jump? Spike cave and then super jump. But why is he pulling off the fire rod?
Go get your fire rod, please. Or is he thinking that fire rod is on the left side?
Oh yeah,
okay.
It would be awful. Hookshot and Turtle Rock?
Yep. Oh. hXcjedders in go mode, except for Sword.
Which is really honestly just go mode.
Well, you know, we could have like 2 swords on the tablets, and that last sword is on green pendants from Palace.
Excuse me, Michael, I will have you know that there are 27 chests in Cannon's Tower. The chances of not finding a sword there are slim to none at this point.
Well, it's possible, but it's possible, but it's unlikely. Also, I know what Futon wants to do. Futon wants to show my thing off.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really cool light show. Also, Futon, I'm disappointed.
He's gonna fix his camera in Desert Palace.
Yes, he's gonna fix his camera in Desert Palace.
Well, I mean, okay, to be honest,
if you don't know the way, it's definitely better to do it this way, but...
Yeah, it's really hard to navigate your way.
But at this point, why are you not just fake fluting to 6 and using the portal?
Or, well, he was in Village of Outcasts, so that's what really confused me, is that he went from Village of Outcasts, and instead of clipping down, he restarted at Death Mountain, went for Spike Cave, and then went for the super jump down to Misery Maya. The route is not the best, not the worst. He probably wants to route in as many checks as possible, probably because, as you said before, he might be worried about the fact that Fire Rod isn't actually accessible. It might be that it's Lamplock.
I'm kinda extremely disappointed by Futon right now.
I know, but it's not hard to disappoint you with the non-use of glitches.
Well, he just goes for extremely slow stuff. Also, hey, Bloomway. Also, yes, we wear the green the entire time.
I'm sure that is actually a breath of fresh air for hXcjedders. He's been, I mean, I feel for him at this point. Like, you only have 10. You have 10 hearts. Okay, that's fine. But you only have Fighter Sword. You only have Remail. That health goes away fast, and the enemies don't.
Well, that's why you have Fire Rod, Sabers, and I guess that's it. Don't have bombers to kill switch the entire screen.
Here's the real annoying part of not doing Turtle Rock backwards. Now you have to navigate this room in the dark, and of course, even if you have the muscle memory for it, when you're going backwards, you only have to hold up.
Well, especially Jeddah screwed up.
Yeah, he got stuck in the loop around that one part.
Yeah.
And he's still going around in circles, oh no!
Jeddah, just hold up. Just hold up.
You can always fix it by just holding up.
Well, you don't fix it if you are too far to the right, but in that circle, yes you do.
Alright, he got to the button. All he has to do is do the right around. Oh, you should have it. Nice. So we already got our unique item, and I think hXcjedders, well, he should be opening chests, because he's missing a sword, of course. But he should be with go mode here, and he will not go out of his way to open slow ones.
Yeah.
just just block it in. It can't hurt you. It takes so long to kill a red beetle with a fighter sword.
Yeah, either switch the hammer or lock it in that corner in there. Also, if you struggle with laser skips, take out the blue cane, or for the most up and most downwards, take a fall. Oh, hey, go bot.
Okay, very first chest, very nice.
So yeah, hey, Quake.
I'm holding my breath for tempered here.
Nah, Smoky, and I think that one needs to be
I called it.
Okay, I need some fire here. Please, help.
Are you saying there's a witch in the commentator's booth? I am sorry. Interesting. Phuton going for Ice Palace before doing the Dead Mountain stuff makes sense. To some degree, if you're more used to NMG, but in Overworld glitches, Turtle Rock and Ganon Sour aren't usually that connected.
Well, kinda. It makes no big sense for Phuton to go for this first, really, because he is on Fighter Sword, and you know what sucks? Doing Ice Palace with Fighter Sword.
He does have half magic, so he will have 8 shots of the Fire Rod if he manages to magic correctly for Cold Stare, as long as he lands some doubles. The hammer finishing up isn't going to be that painful. Or he can, if he's practiced it, he can actually group Cold Stare up with the hammer and go for hammer triples.
Well, he could go for a group up with a Fighter Sword spin and then doing the rest with the hammer, which is possible, but hard.
And down goes Trinex on Jaddo's side, so that gives him his 4th crystal. I expect he's going to do a clip down from here. If he didn't open it, but he should realize that mirroring here is possible. Very good.
Yeah. And as long as you don't die, this is just one mirror. If you do die, it's 2 mirrors instead, and that's not that big of a problem. And okay, I think Jedda's heads to Ganon Tower right now.
It's an interesting decision. I don't necessarily like it because now you have to go to Ganon the slow way. Once you are done with it.
I would also agree. I would also agree. There is no benefit in doing it this way compared to going for dungeons first at this point. You are not required to go in GT for any items. Also, chat numbers. Maybe we can quickly get some numbers in chat.
You can do the Ganon Sour guessing game, but you have to be extremely fast about it. You also already cannot guess 1 and 2.
Yeah. We already see some high numbers.
So the thing about this play is definitely that he wants to be on the pyramid because he thinks that's a fast way to go to the pod. But with the clip down to Catfish and then the clip down directly almost to the pod entrance, it's actually faster to go from Turtle Rock than from the pyramid to Pastar.
Yeah. I think I added the one from Catfish to pod to my list. So that one is definitely a good one to know.
Number 5 is the Ganon Big Key, and Jeddah says, "Thank you, I am done." Doesn't even open the remaining Stalfosum's chest and it just goes upstairs. I mean, Tempered Sword, Silvers, what more can you really ask for?
Yeah.
And the winner, by the way, is Sundark Soldier with his guess of 7, which was the closest. and not Spleeby with the 5 who guessed after the fact.
Nah, I'm sure that counts, right? It's the honor system or something like that.
Nothing really counts because this was the most ad hoc Ganon style big key guessing game of all time.
Well, we had one actual GT big key guessing game that we started the moment that someone started the against tower clip because all the crits were actually done.
Jed is going for some nice iframe strats for this room. I actually have never thought of that. We'll see
Yeah,
it used.
You can actually just jump down and afterwards stay through. Your iframes are lasting long enough, and you can also, if you are feeling ballsy, go for the insta dash thread where you are able to dash through without any problems. And if you miss it, you can just stay through the second time.
By the way, another thing comes to mind just before talking about the differences in routing between the players. So Futon right now, as we discussed before, is in Ice Palace, which kind of an interesting play because you're doing a lot of stuff that you could potentially avoid. Now, if he decided to go Turtle Rock instead, of course, he might not find anything there at all. But when going through Turtle Rock, you need to hit the front because you need that big key, which can be in a very limited amount of locations. And we'll have to go through there, and you pass by all the chests on Lazy Beach. So that's a lot of stuff that you usually cannot avoid, whereas you can skip all of what he did in Ice Palace and go directly to the boss.
Yeah, he may feel behind that he wants to lose this gamble of Ice Palace early on, but even if it would pay off, it wouldn't save too much time overall.
I actually don't know why he would feel behind other than the death he took in Past Darkness. Now, here's the thing, right? He went through his early game route very, very neatly, completed it, executed it fine. He then went into a south to north Dark World, which completely paid off, got him the hammer, got him the bow, and then he went to the two bow palaces, and then there he got the hint for Fire Rod. So from Futon's perspective, he had a very fluid sort of like gameplay here. It was not full of hiccups. So I don't know why he would feel behind there.
Yeah, like maybe really just feeling like. I think Jed said a few times that he likes to go for pendant dungeons, so that he might just have felt, oh, Jed definitely went in there.
I don't know. I wouldn't assume that my opponent goes into a pendant Maya with no fire source randomly, right? Even though you have the medallion, it's kind of one of those places you just don't expect. Hexcjedders definitely made a good play doing that, as we learned in retrospect, but I still kind of disagree with the original thought of going in there. Of course, if you think that you cannot beat your opponent in an execution race, it's a perfectly good play to do. And it's paying off really well for him right now.
And our dear Moldom strikes again. First strike of the day. Or at least of the race.
It was very close to catastrophic, almost poking mold on there. Which would have put him in turbo molder mode.
Yeah, it's something you want to avoid. Even if it happens, it's not too catastrophic, but if you can avoid it, it's always better to avoid it. And now we are at Arena 2. Jeddah still has to do a bunch of dungeons afterwards too. This won't be the last dungeon he has to clear.
Down goes Lammolas, and down goes Agatu. Synchronized boss kills, a little bit different of a fanfare for one over the other.
Yeah, there's a difference of 3 dungeons. Well, boost players have 3 dungeons left. But the thing is, one of them has Eastern left and Palace of Darkness full clear, meanwhile the other one has to go through Aghanim's Tower still. Ganon's Tower, of course, it's not Aghanim.
Jadis decided to save and quit. At this point, this makes sense though. You would definitely go and go mode Ice Palace before doing Palace of Darkness and Eastern because it's faster to get to the pyramid from Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, definitely the better play.
I mean, the best play, of course, would have been to leave Ganon's Tower for last. But...
yeah, you would have had the mids for Ice Palace like that.
I don't think it really matters to him. Ice Palace Mirror Map is one of those extremely useful things that you learn as fast as possible when you this game.
Well, we already had one race where the runner mid-race had to look it up.
I think I remember maybe in the last tournament we had a hard lock that led to the loss of a dungeon progress when someone was doing this, and then that person, I believe, went on to win the tournament.
Yeah, Christoph lost a bunch of items here. Was it his only loss in the entire tournament? I think a while? Not sure. We'll have to check that.
But back to the dungeon point, there's one extra thing with Futon here, which is that the Palace of Darkness, as we can see here, has been cleared mostly on his side. I don't know where the big key was, but you definitely do need that big key. So Jelly still has to do that. Futon also can shorten his trip into Turtle Rock by going in through the front and then going in back through the laser bridge with the mirror wrap, which is technically a go-to in go mode. Now, unfortunately for him, no bombos, so he can't actually do that. But maybe he picks it up here. It's possible that it just drops him down. So it, well, the difference is big. It's alleviated by a few things, but at the end of the day, the gauntlet takes ages to complete, so that's a problem.
And now Futon back in Place of Darkness Dark Rooms, able to kill the enemies. He sees them this time, liking the torture chest is really helpful. And yes, Futon did die in that turtle party during his first trip.
Alright. So that's a dungeon completion on Futon's side, and Jedders is about to head into his dungeon completion. Again, we are going to be 2 dungeons on each side remaining, but Ganon's Tower is a slow.
But it has a big key. Do you remember the big key, how it was placed for at Place of Darkness?
No. I don't think it was in the 4 chests that are in the lobby. So that's including the Broken Bridge, the Vanilla Big Key chest, the Pit chest, and the one in the lower left.
And Futon showing off a nice little method to get to the top of the mountain by just jumping off the bottom.
Futon also going for the middle entry into Mimic Cave? I guess we did get a hint for this. It makes sense. He's still looking for hookshot and the sword.
I kind of would have still said go for laser bridge first. Not just because items set, but it has the highest chance to have items and may allow you to skip anything after finding the hookshot and big key.
So from they both did the same thing to enter Turtle Rock. They both went through the middle. But from Jedda's perspective, it didn't make sense to me because he didn't go for Mimic Cave. From Futon's perspective, it makes perfect sense to me because the reason he's not going for Laser Bridge is because in that case, you will essentially gamble that you'll probably skip Big Chest and Mimic Cave. You can't go back for those unless you exit through the middle, so that means you lose your mirror save point. Have to do the dungeon again forwards. So, I don't know. I kind of agree with Futon doing this, but disagree with Jedda's doing that. There's the big key in the lava chest, so he has that now.
Yeah, and once he finds that hookshot, he will be locked out of going further. So he will mirror out. Oh my god.
This is good. This is really good.
No, was there a small key available for him in Big Chest or Chrysler Rock?
Yes. It's okay. In the Big Chest. Jedda's mirrored specifically to pick up this small key. And this wait.
He left the big one of the big key chest Jedda's.
That makes no sense because he has Trinex down, which means he had the big key. No, it's in Crystal Rolling.
No, Jedda's okay, but Jedda skipped out on big key chest to save the poke key.
He did not because it's the big key and he has Trinex down.
No, he did skip it at first.
Oh, he went back. He stole the key. Okay, I see. That's why he mirrored. I found it weird at that time, but I wasn't paying attention to his screen at that point. Yeah, I understand.
And we have still no lantern. The Gannon's Tower big key is in place, was in chase 5 in the Starforce room for Jedda's. So, as long Futon does normal routing, Futon, you need a key.
And you also need all the swords from Laser Bridge.
Please check the last chest as well.
He won't. He is gonna go in with them, the Master Sword.
I was kind of hoping that he gets hit by the laser to stop his laser skips, that he then decides to go for safety door and checks the bottom first.
It's always so painful to see that someone is so close to a sword and just misses it because it makes total sense to miss it.
Yeah.
And I mean, he 100% expects to be hunting for the GT big key for a long time, which means he is opening close to 27 chests, any of which could randomly be a sword.
You know, we didn't check any chests except for more than 2 chests upstairs, so there might still be one upstairs.
We also skipped the entire right side of the Salvos room, which sounds weird to say, but we did.
Well, we were in go mode at that point, which is kinda weird for being in Overworld glitches and being in go mode for in the middle of GT.
Alright.
So yeah, Palace of Darkness versus Gan's Tower. I kinda tip on Pot being faster.
Yes, but also you have to remember, Jedders will have to walk to the pyramid from here. Futon will take a taxi.
Yeah, but that's kinda the difference between Master and Tempered.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This would be much closer if that sword was collected. And that Smokey was placed badly because no matter which side Futon does the laser bridge from, he picks up a sword first, and then he goes until the Smokey and stops without picking up the other sword.
Yeah, the only good thing would have been like he checks the first chest, on the second chest he fails the laser skip, and then Futon, you check this chest instead of laser bridge.
I am so annoyed by this. Yeah, there's no words. there's no words for me to express how annoyed I am by that play. At least commit to it. If you're gonna skip everything, just commit.
Yeah, there's no reason to check anything if you say Master Sword is enough and there will not be anything that would help me anyway.
When executed optimally, not opening Ganon's Tower is faster.
Yeah. But at the same time, doing the clip, for some people, a bit hard.
He even has the hookshot out. So he doesn't even have to menu. He finds a small key and he's going to go right side.
Okay, so at this point it's just race to lose. Like,
so it's not that big of a deal. It's going to be chest number 8 for him, where he finds chest number 9 for him, where he finds the big key, assuming he doesn't feel behind enough to pull a full right.
Well, the thing is, kinda Jedders is gonna be at the pyramid by the time, but he's gonna be at least at the hammer fight by the time he finds the big key on Futon's side.
Oh, absolutely. There's the lamp.
Oh, lamp!
So you did, in fact, need the fire rod. Full stop to get that lamp, so you had to go into Misery Maya. Wow.
Yeah. If it would have been in all dungeon seats, the logic would have expected go to Maya, go to Ganon's Tower, go back to Maya. Nice.
Nice.
That's why we learn Dark Rooms. And also why we not play all dungeons right now.
The logic expects you to do some extremely weird things occasionally.
Yeah. Kinda.
He checked hookshot cape, but not the other two chests in Stavros room.
Futon, what are you doing? I guess. He at least found the Master Sword before he found the small key. Otherwise, he would have skipped that one as well, probably. Maybe. Hopefully not.
No, I mean, he does know that. There's no guarantees he has to open everything.
Yeah. The only thing we are actually so annoyed by is Futon did open hookshot cave, which is kind of slow, kind of out of the way, but skipped later with chest while he was on there, skipped huge chest in the Starforce room while he was in there. Why?
And one of the two chests on Laser Bridge that was remaining was in fact a Tempered Sword, which, I mean, the biggest upgrade that you can get for Ganon really is just going from Master to Tempered.
Biggest upgrade is silverless to silvers.
Is it though?
And afterwards, it's going from Master Tempered, I guess.
Well, I'm not going to agree or disagree on that. It's competing for the first place.
And yeah, Jella's gonna be into the fight here now.
Entering the Ganon fight on Jedders' side, and Futon's only halfway up the tower, unfortunately.
Yeah, especially with the spot difference. Kinda not gonna happen that Futon comes back unless Jella's falls like 2 times. Jella's taking a few hits early on.
It's down to 4 health, which means he can't really tank anything else anymore, especially not Ganon hugs.
He has Doomay, so he is kinda okay.
He also collected
Faith.
about 70 million fairies, if I remember correctly, in Palace Darkness.
And he has Cape, so he can make sure that Ganon dies this Firebird cycle. Jealous, don't use all your magic with the Cape, please.
It's okay, he does... Oh, no, he doesn't have one. Well, he does have about 6 Fire Rod shots.
Yeah, it should be fine, but let's hope he gets a Torch Glitch.
No, I honestly would go for a Silver Shot here. I'd be less inclined to go for a Torch Glitch. Because, yeah, you miss it, right? And then you didn't even get your free hit. And that could have been a double with the Ganon position and his relative position.
Going for Fire Rod would have given you...
Oh.
Okay, he has a green. Okay, that's good.
Oh, that's a thing. We picked that up about 3 minutes into the scene.
Yep. And Futon right now finishing up Moldom 2, while Jeddah finishing up Ganon. 2 different bosses, one more important than the other.
Alright, Jedders finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 55 seconds. GG Sam.
Yeah, it's a race PB for them by about 37 minutes.
It's not. You just set the goal in the wrong way. You're supposed to set it to open up all glitches.
Oh, right. No, it's for over glitches. We had some issues with the board that set it to the right one.
Joined by hXcjedders for an interview. Hello and GG.
Hello.
So, where do you think this seed really went right?
Fire Rod.
You know there was a hint for it in Eastern?
Was there?
Yes.
We actually thought Futon would be full clearing the entire seed, and then the seed was ended up being extremely specific about what is where in Eastern Palace when he was doing that.
Yeah, I went there on a hunch because of Ether. I was like, we got Ether really early, and I don't have a fire source yet, so I'm gonna check Mire. And it turned out it was Fire Rod.
Yeah, everyone else would have said, okay, I'm not gonna check this until I find Fire Rod or a lamp.
Yeah,
By the way, lamp, Fire Rod locked.
Yeah, it was on the right side of Ganon's tower. I completely disagreed with that play. But, I mean, I would have lost too.
Yeah, I mean, it was so like, I'll you know, I kind of, realize, where I'm at in respect to all these runners that are in this tournament. So, to me, I'm not going to win unless I make some big plays and they pull, they work out. So that was one of the big plays. I said I got to do this. I got to try and see if something's here. So, and it turned out there was.
It's absolutely formula baking, and it's basically a really good tool to just beat anyone you feel is better in execution with just routing. It's absolutely great.
Yeah, it's random for a reason. If your opponent is so much better than you that you think you have no chance, going for a gamble is a play that often enough paid out already.
So, how about climbing deathFouton without a weapon that doesn't use resources?
Yeah, it was a little bit easier the second time around once I found an actual weapon. Yeah, that was a bit difficult trying to get those mini Moldorms to play nice. They were being mean to me this seed.
I had legitimate PTSD from that one because I did that exact thing in the tournament race as well. Just went into Spiral Cave with no weapon, wasted all my bombs, and then died.
Yeah, kind of not a good idea to do that one. There is a reason if you really want to go early, oh hey, last shield found. If you really want to go for early, that's more that you only shake some of it and not go for everything until you actually find weapons.
So in the meantime, Phuton finishes with 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 37 seconds. GG's to him as well. We'll see if he joins within.
Yeah, and I had tried to go up there again when I had a weapon after I went to Zora, but that heart piece screwed me over, so you know.
Yeah. Phuton actually avoided going into Waterfall Fairy Cave. He was doing the same water walk because we assume at that time he was also at 3 heart pieces, and he completely skipped it. So he went for the glove instead, and then later DMT'd for Waterfall Fairy. But yeah, that was extremely unfortunate right there. Occasionally it happens.
Yeah, because I was gonna go check the Zora ledge, and then I was gonna go Death Mountain Ascent, but I probably wouldn't have after getting the glove, but that was the plan at least. But Heart Piece had other plans.
So we've been directing the questions mostly. Any thoughts you have on the seed?
I mean, aside from Fire Rod, it really wasn't a bad seed. Like, everything was pretty much in decent places.
It did line up neatly, didn't it?
Yeah, one thing that got us a little bit worried were Uncle and the chest next to him having some items and you getting the hint about Pyramid Fairy. Usually you want to do those in a combination with each other.
Yeah, yeah, that did change my plan of how I was going to do Castle, because the reason why I went up to Death Mountain as fast as I did was I said I'm going to get as much done as I can, and then I'm going to mirror back down and do Castle and Pyramid Fairy. But then I got the Pyramid Fairy hint, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll do Castle later then.
Yeah, hold you a bit astray from one of the 3 swords that we found overall.
Did were all the swords that were found were they the same swords I had, or did Phuton find a different one? Okay.
Also, Phuton skipped the second one on Laser Bridge because he already was in go mode completely. He apparently felt okay with the Master Sword Silvers.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been too, but I was already checking Laser Bridge, and well, might as well see what else is there since I've already started checking it.
Tempered Sword is a huge upgrade. If you eventually wind up finding it, you can justify opening so many chests for it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not really going out of your way for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Tempered is huge, but not huge enough to be worth putting pedestal for it or something.
Yeah.
Unless you just finish up Skyward and already have the pendants.
Yeah, there's some checks that if I didn't have tempered, there's some checks I probably would have done, like Eastern Big Chest and maybe like Freezer Room and Ice Palace.
How about the right side of the Starfrost room?
Yeah, that too.
Wow, that collection rate is so low.
I think that's like the lowest collection rate or second lowest collection rate of the tournament so far. Yeah. You going for that fire rod really smashed that seed a bit down in the collection?
Yeah, that fire rod was the key, really, because it locked so many things. Because I don't know where Lamp was. Did you say it was on right side GT or?
Yep.
Yeah, right side GT.
Yeah, so that fire rod locked the lamp. It was your only fire source, and you needed that to finish out the seed for sure.
And we didn't even find Bombo, so it couldn't have like really pointed anything at Ice Palace either. We really needed that fire rod for that as well.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Would be kind of interesting to know where that almost actually is, because I don't know. I think with the key placement, Turtlerock might have been medallion locked logically.
Yeah. Well, I had to steal. See, I saw that it was medallion locked in my previous race. I got medallion locked, so I didn't want that to happen again. So I stole the key from Lava Chest, even though it's like kind of a long way out of the way. It guarantees you won't get locked out.
It was not medallion locked because you could take the key, open the vanilla big key chest, which is not a key, so that's like the most reliable way of wasting it. And then through the middle, you can still go up to Crystal Roller and either open towards the front, which had all the keys, or open towards Laser Bridge, which had a key. So no matter how we look at it, it wasn't in fact medallion locked.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. The big key was on Lava Chest.
But yeah, best way to avoid medallion locks is always to come from Laser Bridge. I don't think there's any key layout that can medallion lock you like that.
There is not. You will be able to go all the way to chain jumps without using a single key.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those that I have yet to practice, so...
It's extremely
It's actually easy.
Because Laser Bridge being logically the same as in NMG, as in you can't enter through that door, it does have at least 3 items that are not keys. So, like, worst case scenario, it has an item, a compass, and a map. But if there's an early Laser Bridge there's an early Turtle Rock and Laser Bridge access, it's most likely to have the value.
But yeah, talking about Turtle Rock, one thing we did wonder a bit about was your route for the end game. That you could have gone from Turtle Rock to Port to Eastern, and afterwards done Ice Palace and finished up with Ganon's Tower. Instead, you gone from Turtle Rock to Ganon's Tower and did Ice Palace, and then Eastern Palace of Darkness to Pyramid.
Yeah, I forget why I wanted to do GT first. I think maybe it was just proximity based. There was a reason in my head at the time that I was like, maybe it was just because I wanted to walk from pod. That was the end goal, was why I wanted to do pod last for sure, but why I wanted to do GT first, maybe I just didn't think about it.
Yeah, usually the fastest way to Ganon is if you finish up with Ganon's Tower, second fastest is, as far as I know, coming from Stone, because there's a nice little clip from there. And afterwards, Palace of Darkness, and then I think afterwards everything is with 7 quid.
No, it's faster. Well, depending on what you do after 7 quid, it's still faster to DMD and then do the river clip than to go
Yeah.
for
Yeah, that's right. That's what I mean with to go for all 7 quid. Everything after Palace of Darkness is slower than just do 7 quid.
True.
Okay, I'm right now not sure on Maya, but I think it should be slower than just saving and quitting than going for a river clip from there.
Probably. All right. Any final thoughts on this race, Jedis?
No, thanks for commentating and putting it on, and it was a great race, and it's my first win, so definitely feels good.
And just hold on to that feeling and reuse it, or hold on to whatever you did in this scene and reuse it to, win the next 4 more, and then you still definitely have a shot of getting out of your group.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think with that we kind of start wrapping it up here and take a quick look at the overall SpeedGaming schedule. There is a German link to support Randomizer Tournament match going on right now on SpeedGaming Deutsch. But other than that, until 5 PM we won't have anything on the main channels. At 5 PM we got Kirby Nightmare and Dreamland on SpeedGaming main, like this channel right now here. And later on today, at 8 PM we got more Overworld glitches, same for 9 PM. So if you want to watch more glitches, just wait a bit and you will find them. But other than that, I was Michael K, and joined by Baliama. Our races were Futon and Jeddas. Give those two a big follow, they deserve it. And yeah, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed.
Thank you, and see you guys next time.